In this passage, which we read, it affirms God as the creator. It also says that God created them male and female. That's God's created order. And it's interesting that as we look at our present world, we're going against that. Rather distressing to read that the first act of Biden administration is to bring in new laws on transgender and to push the whole transgender agenda, which is anti-God and anti-Christ, and which is another way in which is taking the nations further and further into rebellion against God and his created order, and will bring judgment upon the nations, upon America. And I think there are so many things which we see happening in our world today which are, because we're going against God's order, God's creation, so we see confusion, distress, and ultimately the judgment of God coming upon the world as we know it. But it says here that God created them male and female. That was how he created them. That's how we're made. We're made either men or women, male or female, and we can't change that. It's part of God's order. And the Bible also affirms that God is the creator, not just in Genesis, but right the way through. From Genesis through to Revelation, you'll find passages which affirm that God created the heavens and the earth, that everything that exists comes through the will of God. And that also shows us that because God made the world, he's able to intervene in his world. And right through the Bible, we see that there are major interventions of God in history, in the creation itself, in the flood, the Exodus, and the giving of the law, and supremely in the coming of the Messiah, Jesus, his death, his resurrection, and his soon second coming, which will be another major intervention of God in the affairs of this human race. And so because God made the world, he's able to intervene in the world which he made. And he does all the time. He does in ways through answer to prayer, but sometimes in history there are major interventions, and I believe one of them is on its way in the second coming of Jesus the Messiah.